What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Good to be with you guys again. Somebody needs to explain to me why we can see the economy slowly failing before our eyes and the real estate market is not giving up. I don't fully understand it, but it is what it is, and I guess take it while it's there, right? That's the only way to go about life. Take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. So I hope you guys are having good times in the market. I hope you're making some money. We're looking at TRKA. We don't know exactly what's going on. As always, this is not financial advice. I'm just here for your entertainment. So we've had a couple of theories. There's no way to prove truly what price the warrants are coming into the market. We know that we're finding a very hard time between 25 and 28 cents. Could they have reduced the price that some of those shares get released? I mean, maybe they could have, maybe they didn't. I don't know, and I'm not going to say one way or the other what's going on there, but for some reason we find heavy supply whenever we're in that range, and we're a little bit away from that range now, which is a little disheartening, but that could be the case. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Also, we know that they said that they weren't going to guarantee us whether they were going to release any of those shares or not. And I told you that is not a guarantee that they are not going to. The only good thing that we have right now is we're still hoping that Jeffries pulls through like they have in the past. And there's no reverse split, and that they have a plan, and that all of that plan comes together. As the time goes on, it gets a little bit more risky, and as time goes on, I guess we could see how that plays out into the price action, because somebody has a thesis on the long side, somebody has a thesis on the short side, and we're hoping that we're right, but doesn't mean that we have to be right. Somebody's going to be right. I haven't kept up with this, honestly. I have not been watching very close at all for a little while. So it is what it is. Let's look at it real quick. Live short interest, according to Ortex, coming in at 4.17%. Live short interest, 12.77 million. Looks like a little bit of an increase there. Utilization still at 100%, which it was at the last time we checked this, which in my opinion is good. I want to see this cost to borrow continue to grow, 33.5%. Not high enough in my opinion. It's pennies, fractions of a penny a day. And whenever we lose money, obviously, who's making money? The shorts are. So don't think they're hurting. Don't think that they're underwater by any means, unless some of this is skewed, which it could be. I'm not saying it's not. But what are we watching? Hopefully, potentially a double bottom. 2035 spot, 2035. I'd be watching to really hold. I got filled around 2106, I think, today. I just said it and was gonna see what happened. It's not behaving the most bullish, so don't do what I do. I just figured, hey, maybe I'll check and see if I can bring my average down just a little bit off of the drop. The markets overall have pulled back a little bit. We were hoping that they would hold out strong for us for a couple of weeks or whatever, but they've had a little bit of a pullback. We're watching our 4-hour RSI line, right? We're coming down to touch it, which is also why I had that buy order set. I figured I'm playing this RSI line, and that's what I was doing. So it's either going to hold or it's going to give out, but that's why I set my price where I did, and I just let it ride, and if it filled, it filled. And I'm watching it closely to the downside, because we don't know what's going to happen. So do what you want with that information, but if it's going to continue to play this test of the grind line on the 4-hour trend RSI that we're watching, it needs to bounce within tomorrow. I would say at some point tomorrow, if this comes down enough to touch and bounce, that's where I'm watching. It's not in bullish territory right now. It's at 39.30 on the 4-hour. It would be where we would typically see it bounce, but we don't know what's going on behind the scenes fully. So that's why we're watching it close to see exactly what happens. If we look at it on a shorter time frame, what are we doing? Possibly falling, broadening, possibly just a bull flag. So could it come down more? Yes, it could. I don't want to see, that 17 cents again down here at this line, but depending on what we do and when or if it breaks to the upside, I mean, there is significant downside still from here, and that's why we talk about protecting accounts, watching it to the downside. Hope maybe you're trading this thing, but maybe you're not. So just be watching for somewhere in the mid 18s, 18 to mid 18s, if it needs to come back down for another test of whatever we're doing on our trend line here. And we'll see if it continues to make its push to the upside. I want to see that 21 cent area hold, really break and hold. That would give me a little bit more confidence. And then what are we watching initially from there? 23.20, spot 23.20, to see if we can get back above there and then get back into that box. And what is it going to do? Are we going to get flooded with that supply again, or is it going to ease up? I'm not sure. What's Jeffries doing? I'm not sure. What is going on? Who knows? But that's what I'm watching real close. And like I said, I'm just playing it all off of the 4-hour RSI and price-wise. So, pick your own time frames, but mine's the 4-hour. It's been holding. Whenever we come down here, we tend to get a pretty decent bounce. So let's see if it wants to play out one more time for us, at least on TRKA, possibly get that little bounce there. I don't know. We need to see some higher highs, and we definitely don't want to see lower lows. The SPY overall, I guess if we want to call this the markets, possibly a cup, possibly a little handle and a push. If the overall, what would you call it? I guess just patterns, right? They don't always have to play out, but a lot of times they do. Could it pull back? Yes, it could. To down, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw somewhere in the 401 to 404 area if it wanted to handle out, or a slight push from here. I really want to see the markets do well, just because I think that gives us a little bit of an edge to what we're doing in TRKA. But watch and see if this is a double, triple, quadruple top. What's going to happen? Is it going to get rejected, or are we going to make a little bit of a pushback to the upside? Would love to see it. Right now it's in no man's land, in the center of everything, as far as our fib lines go, as far as our everything really. Could go either direction from here, so it'll be a tough play as far as what the markets are going to do in the morning. If we get dropped below that 406, then I think we have a pretty quick trip down to around 400, 401. If we can hold and gain some steam here around, call it 413 and a half, 414 breakout, then I think we could see some steam to the upside. Really hoping that we can pull to the upside. AI got a pretty nasty price reduction, I guess, as far as what the analysts are projecting. So our main AI took a hit today, which gave pbts a pretty solid hit to the downside. Not good to see. I do have a position in that one. I guess if you caught this dip, it did okay, but I didn't like to see that dip by any means. Right now, we want to see pbts get back above 7 cents, and then it's going to need that breakout back above 8 cents if that's one that you've been watching and paying attention to. AI was running hot there for a moment and got a little smacked down today. Also Chinese, so the Chinese stocks are not really performing yet, and I don't know if they're going to, right? We have all the drama around China and what's going on, and how are Chinese stocks going to perform in the American markets? Well, so far it's not been the greatest showcase as far as what they want to do for us, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, see if it takes another leg down, what's going on there. So you got the levels on TRKA. watch them close. I don't know. As time goes on, it gets a little more risky, so just keep that in mind. But we'll see how it does. I'm still here personally. Don't let that be your decision. I hope you guys are making money in the markets. I will catch you in the next one. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.